Hello and welcome to the next edition of our podcast from FiPME. Today we want to talk to Stefan and Boris, tell you a little bit what they're all about, what they're playing right now, and what they think about the future of gaming. Let's start with you, Boris. Just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit what you're playing right now.
Hi, Benj. Great that you lead this interview. My name is Boris. I'm 49 years old, live actually near the great city of Hamburg in northern Germany. I have a great 11 years old daughter. I'm very lucky that we started gaming together. Great. We play Fortnite at the moment, and it's a fantastic phenomenon which Epic has brought to the world. The kids are really burning. Amazing to be part of it.
Now let's come to you, Stefan, what you're all about and what you're playing right now.
Hey, Benj. Great to be here. My name is Stefan. I'm in my 40s and living with my family in Zug in Switzerland. At the moment, I'm playing Tony Hawk. It's a skateboard game because I loved skateboarding when I was young and still love to do it on the PlayStation. The second game I still love, Outrun. It's a very old 80s game where you have cool music. I still love the 80s music and great cars and beauties. So yeah, that's what I'm gaming right now. My son does game with Mia, the daughter of Boris. They both love Fortnite, and I know how addicting this is. I watch him playing from time to time, and it's really fast and
Boris, can you tell us a little bit about your gaming success stories?
Oh, what is success in gaming? Good question. In EverQuest, I was leading a guild with like 120 people roughly. We started raiding, or we not started raiding, we have been raiding a lot. Unfortunately, there was another raiding group which was better, but it certainly was a success to put like this amount of people together and having fun, fighting for the same thing and being together. It was certainly one big success for me personally. And World of Warcraft, I have to admit, we're building here with FiPME an exchange, and I'm an exchange people. So when playing World of Warcraft, I have to admit, in my age, I didn't really cope with a very young kids to raid in the efficiency in World of Warcraft. So I turned a little bit to my other passion, and this is trading. And I'm pretty sure that I have been one of the biggest trader in World of Warcraft, shifting around quite a lot of everything on the market.
I think that's a great topic, actually. Like, would you say that once you started professionally trading in World of Warcraft, did it kind of like take away a little bit from the fun?
Not at all, but that is, I think everything which you do should bring kind of fun to you. Otherwise, you wouldn't get any kind of good and even better results. So if you want to perform on the upside, then you have to enjoy what you're doing. Definitely, yeah.
True story. Coming to you, Stefan. Any big success stories in gaming?
Yeah, I had to smile when I listened to Boris' answer because, of course, he was more into the games where you can earn something. When I thought about success, it first came to my mind that I crossed the street at Frogger. And Frogger was a really easy game. You were a frog and you had to cross a street where easy cars came from left and right, and there were like little spaces in between, and you had to jump between the cars to come to the other side of the street. So, but I can remember when I was young, doing that game, and the first time I really were able to do this, I felt that was success for me. I felt happy. I said, "Hey, Dad, look, I'm on the other side of the lane," and he said, "Yeah, you." So, success in gaming was always fun for me. I never tried to be the best or to earn some kind of money with it.
I actually love this topic. I've been in the game industry for 10 years now. So what do you think about, do you think that gaming should be more of a hobby, or do you think people should do it professionally?
I think that the gaming world changed. When I started, gaming was more like a hobby, and there was no, because you were not connected. You could, the internet didn't exist. there was not the chance to do it as a to earn money. It was the same as trading, you know. When I started trading, you were still standing on the floor, and then the internet came and changed everything. And that is the same in gaming. You now have the chance to do it professionally. You now have the chance to earn money, to win sponsors. So I think, in my opinion, people should have the chance to earn money with their passion. Either it is sports, either it is gaming, or it is trading.
Absolutely, and you just mentioned sports. I think the development which we have seen in sports over the last decades, we are actually living now in the gaming with the difference that it is going very much faster. Think about like the first world championships in football in the 1950s, I guess it was. The players got there, they played football and they got world championship. Now you look at football and you have some guys who are bought for, I think there's a rumor that the first player will be bought for $1 billion very soon. So this is a massive change, and the same is actually happening in the gaming world. Look at the esports. I mean, especially in football, they are players already. They have as much fans as the players of real football, and they're earning nearly the same money. If you look at the figures, for example, it is very amazing. There is more football played online than the Champions League in the real football. Nobody knows actually that.
And Boris, think about it. I mean, when we were in sports, it's the same. I mean, the sport got so much more professional than it was 50 years ago. I mean, if you look at a soccer player these days, you know what they all have to do. I mean, they have sponsors. They need to do mental training. They need to do sports training. They need to know a lot more than someone 50 years ago. And it's the same in gaming and trading. You know, I mean, when we started trading, there were like, I don't know, 1,000 products on the market. Today, you look it up and there are millions of products on the market which gets traded. So I think the whole world is getting more professional. Think of the mobile world. I mean, the first mobile I had was in 1996, a Nokia. You know, you could talk with it and not doing anything more. Look at what an iPhone is capable to do today. So I think the whole world is getting much more professional than it was back in the days.
Yeah, I totally agree. Actually, both we were at ESL 1 together, and there were like 12,000 raging fans. Like, do you think that esports will evolve much more into like something much bigger in the future?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, coming back to let's go for a while to the old Romans. They said, there was a speaking from that, or looking back at the history, everybody is talking about bread and circuses. In my mother tongue, which is German, actually we say bread and games. And I think that should answer the question completely. Bread and games, it is the difference between, let's talk about let's have in mind the circus of the old Romans again. The people went there and they have been watching. Through the internet and this great technology, the gamers nowadays are not viewers, they are into it. Actually, this is one of the point. The gamers are the middle of the games. You know, you have fantastic companies who develop amazing games, and my biggest respect actually to Blizzard, who are, in my opinion, one of the pioneers of the online gaming. When you think about all the time Diablo 1 was out there basically for free, you just had to buy the copy and could, like 10 years later, play still online. I think you still can do actually if you try. This is a movement which is big, but compared to the old Romans, the players are not viewers. They are in there, they can interact and can go for it. Gaming will go more and more into our lives, and I have to admit that I really like the vision of the game Ready Player One, where actually the gaming worlds get deeper and deeper, and the business of the real worlds will be actually combined into the gaming worlds and not vice versa.
What about you, Stefan?
Yeah, my opinion is I'm in the Swiss Esport Association, and of course there are still some hurdles we have to overcome. For example, that esport is depending on a game publisher, and if that game publisher says, okay, we don't publish that game anymore, then a whole team might be going bust without having the chance to do anything about it. So I see if these hurdles get really overcome, then we have a totally different universe of sports. And if you look at the fun sports of the 80s and 90s, they are common sports these days. They are Olympic. They are really mass adoption. So I think esport is here to stay, definitely. But I also see the hurdles we need to overcome in the near future, that you really have like leagues on their own, which are not depending on publishers and is not depending on the law which is out there right now.
I think that's a very interesting take, actually. Do you think there could be any positive things coming from gaming for other communities, other branches, other industries?
Oh, a lot. You have it already. You have it in education. There are many universities using gaming for many different topics. You have it in medicine, and of course, if virtual reality is developed more and more, you will have it in other branches as well. You will have a lot more gamification in the future than you have right now. Or Boris, what do you think?
Absolutely, and I would like to share a great anecdote with you, because a lot of people actually say that the gamer is a nerd who say he has no socializing anywhere, he's alone sitting in his dark cellar. No, completely wrong. As I said earlier, when I had my guild, for example, in EverQuest 2, there was these 120 people. Some of them are my old friends now, so I got known to them through gaming. And the anecdote I was talking about, there's a guy I know from trading, and he actually always was thinking gaming, that is stupid, that is wasted time, and so on. And now we're talking about like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I had a conversation recently with him, and actually he said, you know what, I've started gaming. I say, what? You did what? Very successful financial trader. And he said, yes, it's actually great because it's so socializing. And I said again, what? You always said it's not that way. And he said, yes, I play Fortnite with my kids. That's actually the reason why I started with my daughter as well. Because when you actually go together into the game, you talk. It is kind of a modern meeting other people. It's just virtual. Of course, we lose all the interaction which is possible if we sit together, if we smell each other, and if we look each other. Yeah, but it's a movement in that direction, and it is not perfect because it has some missing bits, but it's still great.
And where do you see where do you see yourself and actually gaming also in 10 years? Like, what do you think will change in 2030?
That's a tough question. I mean, it's always tough to see yourself in 10 years. I mean, as Boris said, I watched Ready Player One, and I really can imagine that maybe it's not reality in 2030, but I definitely see the world turning into that direction. Where do I see myself in 10 years? I love to see my kids growing. I love to see the company growing, and I think in 2030 the world will look a lot different than it does today.
What about you, Boris? I know you're a big gamer, like for your whole life. Like, how do you want gaming to sort of evolve in the next 10 years?
Absolutely. I see a little bit of a, let's call systematical problem. There was a lot of effort from the gaming studios to actually come from, let's say, the 1990s to the next level where we have online worlds. And now, let's say this started properly in about 2004. Now these online worlds, or maybe a little earlier with other games, but it doesn't matter. And now these worlds have so much developed. They are so deep. They're so decently deep. And I actually think that systematically the entire situation is still kind of wrongly turning to the point of the developers. The developers say we made something, and of course it's companies. They want to make money. That's the name of the game. Yes, there are some publishers who actually want to deliver a good game and make the players happy, and that should be the task. But still, at the end of the day, they can just achieve that when the gamers are happy and use the game. So it's like a circle. And at the moment, I do see the gamers a little bit too much outside of it. And that's why we are making FiPME again. I mean, we want to give the people the chance to get the rewards for what they have done. And that is missing a little bit. And I do see a change there. I mean, going back to sports, football players are not playing for fun. They are actually playing for money. It's encouraging them. It let them be more professional, go the longer mile, whatever. And I hope, and I actually do see that the gamer will be more in the focus than he is today. One picture, I like to talk in pictures. The game is a building machine. If I rent a building machine and I build something with it, it's actually my effort. At the moment, it is more than if I rent a game and I do something, it's a publisher's effort. So I hope actually that there will be a little bit of a change.
Do you believe that? Please.
Yeah, let me raise one question. Boris, looking into the future, into the next 10 years, what technology would you say is the technology which will change the future the most, like 3D printing, or will it be artificial intelligence, or would you say that the gamer and the gamification will be a big driver of that change?
The gamification of everything will change a lot, and it makes everything more interesting and more enjoyable to consume for the people. Might it be anything which you have to learn? Might it be anything which you have to do? If you do like entertaining parts in the flow of it, of course it will change it. Technically, I think the internet has become pretty fast. With the transmission rates, so there we do not need much more at the moment. Okay, and what will change a lot will be the VR worlds, of course, because then you add. We talked about that earlier. Then you add, of course, different levels of interacting and different levels of how your brain will be stimulated with information. That's it.
And now one question to you, Benj. I mean, we both are in our 40s, so what is your view? I mean, you are much younger than we, and what would you say is changing the world the most in the next 10 to 15 years?
I think it's probably artificial intelligence, because AI is still pretty dumb in games, and I could imagine would be really interesting to play against a much smarter AI that can also sort of like outflank you, like in a strategy game, or they don't have to have these like predefined paths, so to speak. And I mean, I definitely hope that we as FiPME and like kind of like the industry can evolve a little bit more in this direction where it becomes a little bit more consumer centric. I think right now a big problem of the industry is that a lot of games basically get pushed out, and they sort of get left to die, so to speak, right? Like a lot of games, they basically get out before they're finished. Like they probably get released when they're still in alpha stage, and then publishers see, okay, is it selling? Is it not selling? If it's not selling, they just literally let it die, and basically it always stays in this alpha stage. And I hope this really changes. Like Fallout 76 was in a really bad stage, for example, and I really hope that we can sort of like build an ecosystem that is great for gamers, but also great for game publishers and great for game developers, where people are like, okay, come on, let's do this together. Let's build great games and finish them. Like I actually just had a really cool interview with a person called Alka. We can also link his interview in text notes about No Man's Sky. And I'm so fascinated about No Man's Sky because these guys, they were like, okay, at release, our game was not finished. All good. We take the blame. They really took 4 years to put in as many features as you can think about. Like they put in more features than people actually expected them to be. And now the game is such a massive universe and it's still growing. And I think that's lovely. I think that's amazing. I think it's lovely when you can sort of have the launch as a starting point and develop your game. And obviously we can sort of help with that with FiPME because we can build the economy for them.
That's our aim, yeah. That's what we hope to do.
Great.
Absolutely. I mean, again, and this is a kind of a one-way road at the moment. And I mean, there's another speaking, one hand washes the others. And I think there will be a lot of win situation when the system will be put up in a different situation.
Great. That was a really cool podcast. Thanks, guys. Now the question goes to you, lovely community. What do you think about gaming? Like, what do you want to change? Is there anything specific about features, maybe the behavior of some developers, anything you want to see in the next 10 years? Let us know in the comments down below. See you next podcast.